Hello, I am Xarkun and this is World of Warships Legends. Today I bring you yet another video in the legendary tier Soviet Destroyer or Soviet Cruiser, Khabarovsk, depending on your point of view. And I know I have featured this ship many times in the past. Here I am featuring it yet again. That is because I adore this ship. I think it is my favorite ship at the legendary tier. But this video really isn't about the Khabarovsk specifically. Instead, I want to talk about some things that can apply to destroyers generally in terms of what they should do if their goal is to win games. And of course, some of the stuff I say is going to apply to only the Khabarovsk specifically, but I am, after all, playing that ship. You'll note, though, if you were paying attention to the team lineup at the beginning of this game, that Spartan Elite43 is on our team. There he is right there in the Montana. And Spartan is going to end this game with a Kraken unleashed. It's how he finished his most recent stream, and that stream is kind of the reason that I found myself in a game with him. In any case, Spartan's going to have a good game. He's going to get a Kraken. He's going to get nearly 3,000 base XP, I think, somewhere in that range. And we are going to be second to him on the leaderboard. What we are going to do is much less glamorous than getting a Kraken and carrying the team in terms of kills, but it is no less essential. In fact, I'm not sure Spartan's excellent game would have been entirely possible without our support. And you're going to see our support here in action in a big way. And this is the key to destroyer play, I think. Spotting. Spotting is the primary function of all destroyers. At least I think it is, and its importance cannot be understated. This Alaska recently shot his guns, but he's keeping them quiet for now. And watch him, because he's going to keep them quiet for the next few moments, perhaps thinking he can go unspotted. But he can't go unspotted by keeping his guns quiet, because I am within his C detectability range, and I am spotting him. He's still not shot, by the way. He's still keeping his guns quiet as if that is going to let him go dark. Only now does he shoot. And frankly, he's pushed up too far. He's about to stop and I think start reversing, and we are here to keep him permanently spotted. Note that none of my teammates, if you look on the minimap, are close enough to spot this Alaska. If he were to, have not shot at all on his approach down this way, and we weren't here on this part of the map, he would not be spotted unless he shot his guns. And therefore my teammates wouldn't be able to shoot at him because they wouldn't see him. And here, with this salvo incoming, the Alaska is taken out by none other than Spartan Elite43. So there we are, right there, contributing to one of Spartan's 5 kills. And this is crucial. Even in something like the Khabarovsk, I cannot overstate how important the spotting is. Even in a destroyer like this. Now, the Khabarovsk has 6.9 kilometers of sea detectability on my build. That means I am going to struggle. I'm going to struggle mightily to outspot any other destroyers. Of course, there's only one other destroyer in this game, and that's the enemy Shimakaze. But it does mean that I am going to comfortably outspot pretty much every cruiser I'm going to encounter, and I can spot them for my battleship teammates to shoot. If I do that, it helps me out because it eliminates the biggest threat to me, which is a cruiser, and it helps my team out by giving me more leeway to move around the map, get into caps, that kind of thing. And, we've taken that Bravo cap solo. What are we doing now? We're moving west toward the Alpha cap. Why are we doing that? Well, for 2 reasons. The main reason is because the Shimakaze was last spotted on this side of the map. And now that Alaska has been eliminated and we have taken the Bravo cap, we want to focus on getting that Shimakaze. The reason we didn't try to seek him out earlier than this is because he went over to that alpha flank. He went all the way over to the edge of the map, and he went around that island. Now, he is going to finish this game with 2 ships sunk, so he is going to get some kills, and he's going to end up with a little bit over 1,000 XP. So it's not like he didn't do anything at all in this game. I don't want you to mistake me when I'm saying that, but he didn't do really anything that contributed to his team's success. He sunk 2 ships, yes, but we are going to sink 0 ships, and we are going to solo cap 2 cap circles. That is far more valuable to your team than going out to torpedo some battleships in your destroyer. Spotting the enemies for your teammates to shoot at and taking the caps are both more valuable in a general sense than sinking an enemy battleship with torpedoes, and those 2 things should be your main priorities in every destroyer. And by the way, if you see a destroyer, you should shoot at it. We've been sitting inside of this capture circle for the better part of the last 30 seconds, spamming high explosive at this Yamato, lighting fires left and right, and not once has he shot at us with his guns. It is crucial if you see enemy destroyers, particularly enemy destroyers right in front of you, taking a capture circle, that you shoot at them. And maybe this Yamato has just seen 1 too many Khabarosks in his time. Maybe he shot at 1 too many Khabarosks in his time. I don't know. Either way, he didn't shoot at us. His teammates, much further away in their battleships, shot at us, but they were so far away that they missed. And so we were able to take this capture circle solo. Now, we're debating what do we want to do, and we were thinking about going out toward where the Shimakaze was last spotted, but we decide we don't need to do that. He's still really too far away to be having much of an effect on this game, and we have all 3 capture circles. It's incumbent on him to start getting aggressive if he wants to give his team a good chance at winning. And spoiler alert, he's not going to do that. But here is where we make a huge mistake. And that is, we get spotted by the Minotaur, 7 kilometers away from him, and he's able to chunk us for a little bit more than half of our HP. Now, we do have a heal, so we can get some of that back, and we are able to turn away very, very quickly and start dodging his salvos, put some distance between the 2 of us, make it more difficult for him to hit us. Of course, we are permanently spotted by the aircraft carrier, which is flying planes around me, trying to land torpedoes on me, just generally keeping me spotted and harassing me. Not something I appreciate, but, you know, I suppose that is the carrier's job. Even so, the further away we get from that Minotaur, the more difficult it will be for him to hit us. And following our own advice, when the Shimakaze is spotted by our own aircraft carrier, we take shots at him. You can see we don't have much of a problem shooting at him, and I think it was the carrier that spotted him at least, or maybe he actually shot at us. If you are going to play the Shimakaze, I do advise that you do not shoot at Khabarosks. I think that is probably always a mistake, particularly if you are 10 kilometers away from the Khabarovsk. You and your Shimakaze are going to struggle very, very hard to hit the Khabarovsk at all. Meanwhile, it's going to be able to hit you very easily, and as long as you're still shooting, well, then if the Khabarovsk doesn't kill you, probably its teammates will. That was the fate of that Shimakaze there, and he's no longer around to influence that game. Meanwhile, it's rematch time with this Minotaur. We want to punish him a little bit for coming out there and blapping us as hard as he did. And you can see that we're very, very easily able to land our shells on the Minotaur, whereas he struggles to hit us in return. That's one of the lovely things about the Khabarovsk. It's so good at being an open water gunboat. Pretty much no other destroyers except Russian destroyers, certain Russian destroyers, can excel as much in this role as the Khabarovsk can. And I do like to refer to it as a pretty tanky ship. This is not really something you can actually do in any destroyer but the Khabarovsk, is tank for your team. And the way you do that, of course, is by shooting your guns like a maniac in the open water, bobbing and weaving, zigging and zagging, dodging, all that kind of thing, so that when the enemy shoots back at you, they cannot hit you and they miss you. And as long as they shoot at you and miss you, well, they aren't shooting at your teammates and hitting them. So in a sense, you are tanking. Evasion tanking. I think Flamu came up with that term. Maybe he came up with it. That's where I heard it from, is Flamu. I did not create the term, just so y'all know that. Anyway, we're nearing the end of this game now, and we've lit the Montana on fire. There are only 3 enemy ships left. We're nearly at 1,000 points, so they essentially have no hope of winning. And the main contributors to our success in this game, I think, were certainly myself, for capturing 2 capture circles solo, doing a fair bit of spotting for my teammates, helping Spartan get that kill on the Alaska, and then, of course, Spartan Elite43 himself. I think he basically must have plowed through the enemy team. He did get sunk probably about midway through the game, but he certainly took a lot of people with him, and he is going to take top place on the leaderboard for that. I think the 2 of us really pretty heavily carried this game. I think there were a couple honorable mentions below us on the leaderboard, but I think this game is a great example to show just how much of an effect a destroyer player who is primarily focused on spotting and capping can have on a game, versus a destroyer player who I suspect was focused mostly on getting kills. And you can see he did get 2 kills. He did sink 2 ships. We sunk 0 ships, but we won the game. Not always glamorous, but that is the role of the destroyer, and my advice to you is keep that role in mind. When you play destroyers, you'll have better games, and so will your teammates. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.